Hey guys, so this is gonna be my very first YouTube video, I think. Maybe, we'll see. This video is about how to get into FIT. I always told myself if I ever got into FIT or if I was moving to New York, then I would film and document it. I'm also a little illiterate, so bear with me. Oh yeah, and the makeup is inspired by Zara Larsson's album from Midnight Sun for my bestie, and I was obsessed with the outfit and the look, and I was like, girl. And when I saw the makeup becoming a trend, I was like, ooh, I want to do this makeup look. I decided to wear this shirt. New York gal, actually not yet, but soon. It was a Christmas gift for my brother from like 3 years ago. I just thought it was fitting for this special moment. It was kind of like an inside joke when I didn't get in, and then it was a Christmas after. My brother thought that was really funny. And I'm also wearing this hoodie that I got in New York when I went to go visit to see the school for the very first time. I bought the matte hoodie. It's very dirty, but again, for the vibes. And this because it matches the makeup. Oh yeah, and then my New Year's nails. See guys, it was all thought of. Before I tell you the process I had to go through, I'm actually just gonna show you guys how to apply. It is mostly portfolio based, but I will be taking you through the application process. And then I'm gonna explain to you my own personal process. Step 1, file the SUNY application. After you apply, you receive confirmation that your application has been received. First notification will come from the SUNY Applications Service Center. The second confirmation will be sent from FIT to the email address you put into your SUNY application and will contain your username and password for my FIT account. Told you. It can take up to 7 to 10 days to receive the email from FIT after submitting the SUNY application. The reason why we have to do this is because FIT is a public school. They operate and function mostly for fashion and fashion design. That is why they're known as like the top fashion design school, because not only are they very high up there and very good with social networking and social connections, and they're based in New York, one of the most fashion forward states in our country. They're also public, so it makes it affordable for more students. I don't know the history, but I appreciate it truly. But yeah, so because of that, they have to do their first application process through SUNY. SUNY is the State University of New York. All I know is that SUNY has a collection of other colleges in New York. That's how a lot of these colleges get most of their profiting. You won't be able to see a lot of the SUNY just because when I did it, it was 4 months ago, and then the first time I did it was 2 years ago. It just won't show you the beginning process of how to apply on my end. So you have to file the application so they know that you're applying. You have to apply for like the specific school you want to go to, so there's all that. I don't know what SUNY does with all the information, to be honest. So after you apply to SUNY, you get your MyFIT. Your MyFIT is your own personal document of everything and a track record of everything that you do. When you get your transcripts in, you can go there. Portfolio, you can go there. English proficiency, you can go there. It just has a clean track to also let you know where you're at in your application process or even in your term. Because when you get in, you hold on to it, and you actually get more access to more things for the school. So it's pretty cool. I thought it was smart. So I already did the application process. Normally you would want to create a new account. I already did, got in. So I'm just gonna awkward. It shows my previous applications. You'll see that's gonna say first year applicant or start transfer applicant. I'm only gonna talk about the first year applicant because it breaks down a lot of it, majority of it. So if you did do the transfer and you watch this video, it wouldn't be that confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you already went to a fashion school and did all this and now you're just applying to another fashion school. This is probably just to make it easier for you so you don't have to do the research, and I'm glad to help you, girl. But yeah, I already filled mine out, sent it in, and it got it approved. And what they did was they sent me an email to my account on how to log into my FIT. So don't worry about that. It does take a minute. Okay, so fast forward, it's been 7 days and now you have your MyFIT and you're getting started on the step 2 portion. Step 2 has 5 parts. The admissions essay, school transcripts, portfolio, English proficiency, and SAT and ACT scores. Okay. I'll just say this now. If you speak English and it's your first language, don't have to worry about English proficiency. It's only for people who don't have English as their first language. And for SAT and ACT scores, you don't need to submit if you don't want to. If you're a genius and you're also good at fashion and all that stuff and this is your passion, put it in there. I didn't because I was never the brightest student, so my SAT scores were That may not be your story. Put it in there, show them what you're made of. Both of those are not technically required. If you do want to do them, you would have to look for another video. So we're going to start from the top now. I just want to get those two out of the way. After receiving the initial confirmation from FIT, you have access to your application portal. You must submit your essay, and if you are a transfer student, list your in-progress courses. Okay, again, if you're a transfer student, this is where it does get different. They're just gonna want a list of all the classes you have taken and the credits. I'm not sure if it was whether fashion transfers or non-fashion transfers. I remember having to go through that process. It was crazy. It wasn't hard. It was just crazy because I had to email people, have them send me my transcripts so I could see what classes I took and how much credits I got for those classes. Like, what makes you a perfect candidate for FIT and why are you interested in the major you're applying for? Okay, so one thing about FITs, they're very strict on rule following. So if you cannot follow the rules and answer their questions, they're not gonna even consider you because they will think you're someone who doesn't know how to follow instructions. I'll just read you guys the first paragraph of my essay just because I don't want to read that whole thing. That's 3 pages long. No one wants to listen to that. But if you do, just email me and I'll send it to you. But if you guys like try to copy that, that is crazy. I'm gonna use this video as evidence that when I send things out, it is not so y'all can copy, it's so y'all can take notes. I've seen people post their essays. I know it's okay to do it. I do not want to get in trouble for this because y'all feel like being lazy. My name is Justice Ohana Okalalani Woodson. I design with emotion. In the past, I had a hard time with handling my feelings, which were very black and white. It made me a people pleaser, but fashion gave me my voice and confidence to overcome. I understand people's emotions through art too, and I communicate using that medium as well. Fashion design gets me and gives me a reason to make something of myself. I want to share my art helping people awaken emotion from within, illuminating their best selves. Ain't she cute? But yeah, again, if you guys want more of the essay, just email me, text me, message me, whatever, however way you can communicate to me. But yeah, no copywriting, seriously guys, like, don't do that. School transcripts are easy, they're just a bitch and a half. You can either send transcripts online or through paper. Honestly, you should be going through this process through school. Your school is supposed to help you with school transcripts, meaning like getting them from your high school classes and all the stuff you've done and helping you figure out how to transfer them to the college you want to go to. Schools and counselors are supposed to help you with that. Parchment Credentials, SUNY Counselor Connect, National Student Clearinghouse, Navient, Hobson's, or Squire. When I applied for the very first time, I used Squire to transfer all my transcripts. I think the second time I did it via mail, and then I think I also did it by email, but I don't know if that's different because I was transferring. I just had to transfer my college ones. But the first time I did it through Squire, and I had someone to help me. I can't log into it, I already tried. But Squire is a way to help you organize all your transcripts and all the colleges you want to attend to, and then just has it all sent out. So it's really easy and useful. And then here has the address of the school if you just want to mail it by envelope. I always recommend doing it online. That's the fastest way for the other schools to get the transcripts. So you don't have to worry about it. And if you do have to worry about it, you still have time to fix it. By mail, by paper mail, the only problem is it might get lost. It might not get there on time. It takes forever. It already takes up to 7 to 10 days to do mail here, and I live in Hawaii, so it might be different for y'all. But I did both the first time because I was skeptical. Actually, I think I did both the second time too because I was still skeptical. I'm always forgetting to do things, and I like doing things in person by hand, but I don't trust the things in person by hand because everything's online and digital now, so I do both. I say start on that one even before your essay. Like, just get started on it just because it takes forever and you might need someone to help you. Portfolio. This one's a ball buster. Okay, we're just gonna get right into it. The portfolio is crazy, and the thing about portfolio is not only do you have to follow the instructions to a T, like you have to make sure you follow the instructions. That's what I'm here for. You also have to make sure that you understand what they're asking you. There are keywords that they put in there where if you don't understand fashion or know fashion terms, as in fashion industry terms, you're not gonna understand what they're talking about. And I say this with confidence because that was me my first time applying. I didn't know what they were talking about, and I thought I did, even after watching so many YouTube videos, and I still messed it up. I hope this helps you avoid that. But I don't know, I'm another YouTube video, so we'll see. So when you hit the CREP requirements, it's gonna see major specific portfolio requirement. Make sure you find the one that's specifically fashion design AAS. That's the one we're applying to for fashion designers. This is the fashion designer portfolio, but I've made that clear already. So yes, there's a slide room fee. I loved it. It's how you turn in your portfolio. I forget the process. I think they send you something, but basically you do pay $10 and you upload the PDF of your portfolio. And on the side, slide has these little note columns. Those are important. You make sure that you use those for each slide, and I'll show you what I'm talking about later on. The fashion portfolio submission consists of 3 parts: a written essay, 2 design projects, and a sewing project. All sketch and garment images for the portfolio submission must be a size that can be scanned or photographed easily. Construction details should be clearly represented in both design sketches and garment photographs. They're heavy on that. They're really heavy on that. Originality, creativity, and design aesthetic are valued. Your ability to clearly follow direction is very important consideration. Y'all can read the second part if you want. That just talks more about the project, and then it just tells you, please submit a short essay, 2 design projects consisting of 7 to 14 images, a sewing project consisting of 4 to 9 photographs. Fashion design AAS. This is a shorter essay. Yes, you do have to write 2 essays. I didn't want to tell you in the beginning. I didn't want to confuse y'all. 250 words, and they won't rank it the same as they will the admissions essay. This one kind of just taps into more of the kind of person you are. In 250 words, provide an example of a point of view differed from a teacher or employer during an evaluation of your performance. How did you handle the situation? This is hard for me because nothing bad happens to me. I live a perfect life. When I started creating fashion designs in my high school fashion courses, I would explicitly use pencil and paper, but that changed. Pencil and paper were definitely my comfort zone. My teacher liked my design concepts, but felt my work needed to be cleaner. One day, she introduced me to Procreate, a software application for artists on iPads. She encouraged me to try and fully submerge myself with the platform as another means of creation. Because it took a valuable time that I didn't necessarily have, I did not feel that using the new tool would be helpful, but actually hurtful. I was very stubborn about not using the iPad and also continuing with my class design work at first. I would have gravitated back to the pencil and paper. I soon fell in love using the Procreate tool due to my fashion design work. There were a plethora of color and brush options and other features that were beneficial to my design efforts. It allowed me to further my various color complements. Overall, my skills grew with the use of the device, and yes, my work is much cleaner as a result of using Procreate on my iPad. I thank my teacher for mentoring me to try new things, and in this regard, it helped me thrive and even more in my fashion. That's actually true. I bought an iPad like the Christmas after because she would let me like take it home and stuff. She's like, I'll let you take it home. That was my essay. I guess the brief was I didn't want to listen to an authoritative figure at first because I thought with the work I was creating and the time I was having, it wouldn't help me, it would hurt me, like I said, and it wouldn't be beneficial. She knew I could benefit from the iPad in the further on future, not just high school. So I really appreciate that she even trusted me to take it home so I could practice because my reason was I didn't have enough time. That was cool of her. We were able to talk about it, we had a compromise, and we worked it out, and we both gained from it. And I actually use it all the time now for all of my designs. So that is the essay. Portfolio. Sportswear is an American term used to describe clothing consisting of separate pieces such as jackets, trousers, sweaters, skirts, and shirts that can be worn individually in or various combinations. Sportswear can also be known as ready-to-wear and includes a wide range of market segments, including streetwear and athleisure wear. I'm about to explain this to you. This would be considered sportswear, and also this. It's a top. These are both considered sportswear in the sense of they can be mix and match from anything. You can wear this to the beach and then pair it with a turtleneck and wear it to a fancy event right after. Same thing with the skirt. You can wear it to a dinner party, but you can also wear it to around your office at work. I wear this to work, so that's why I count this. So yeah, why a lot of people can get it confused just by the name alone. I want to make that visually clear. I hope you guys understand it, but that's the difference. So if you want to make skirts, trench coats, stuff like that, it is okay. We're gonna dive into it more anyways. Create a mood board inspiration for the following sportswear design. The mood page should be an image that has inspired you to create the designs below. Include a short written explanation of how the designs have been inspired by the mood board page, and then list the destination and season of the year your designs will be worn. This is kind of just like a more so fashion industry thing that I learned that everyone should focus on. When you create a mood board, don't put in fashion models. Don't put in anything that correlates to modeling, like nothing you could pull from a magazine. Like they don't like fashion photos, but that's just because the whole point of a mood board is to see the mood you're trying to create for your own fashion illustrations. So if they see you put a bunch of fashion illustrations, they're just gonna see a bunch of copycats and not your own personal inspiration. You're not gonna think of it that way, and that's not how you're gonna design it, but that's how other people will view your work if you're trying to show them how you think. That's what they're gonna see. I didn't know that. That's what I was taught, but I was already pretty legit with my mood board, so I wasn't too worried. But I did throw in some fashion figures because I didn't know that. And then when you do destinations, think about where this person is wearing it and when they're wearing it. Mexico in the winter, what would that look like if your person was to wear that in that area? You know what I mean? Australia in the springtime, what would that look like your model if they're wearing that in that destination? Just the little things. You make sure when you do your flats, they're black, white, make sure those lines are clean. They really focus on clean lines and the details you put into each flat. That goes for every single sketch. They're not going to tell you directly, but this is what they want. Front and back, every single sketch you've done. That includes the designs you have to do for the sportswear collection, own design work they've done in the past. You're going to have to do back sketches if you haven't done them. And then you're going to have to create flats, front and back flats of each piece that you have shown in your portfolio. It's not gonna be pretty, but that's what they want. That shows them commitment. I think that's what put me over the top. That was like the one singular advice that I feel like no one else has gotten. Include scan or digital photo 2x2 fabric swatches, I forgot to read actual anyways, on the front and back of each sketch. Identify the type of fabric. You can even take a scan of images that you find online. Like I found most of my images on Amazon. I googled fabric I would want to buy on Amazon because it had a list of all the fabric content, and I copied and pasted it into my portfolio, and I just listed the fabrication content. Project 3, the sewing project. Submit photographs of 2 or 3 garments that you have sewn, including front and back. Samples are to demonstrate knowledge of construction, originality, creativity, design, aesthetic, art value. Photograph the clothing on a person or dress mannequin. Garments can be created from commercial patterns, or you can develop your own patterns or drape the design. Garment examples must be sewn. Do not show existing garments that have been decorated. So if you bought denim and you sew on a patch or iron on a patch or even upcycled it to the T, doesn't count. You need to make something from scratch, from fabric to piece. They don't want fashion photos. They don't want it to look edited. They don't want you to do poses or anything like that, because you're not doing photography, you're doing fashion. Mannequins are the best. If you don't have a mannequin and if you have a friend, fine, it still works great. Your friend is beautiful. You're gonna want to do a front and a back and then one close-up. I recommend doing close-ups of something that you've done really well on. That they don't want a lot, they just want front and backs and a detail shot. So now that I read you just like a brief of the portfolio, let me get into the actual portfolio. So this is my FIT portfolio that got me in. I can show you my old one, but I don't know where it is. I started off as my mood board. My mood board ended up being my first page, my cover. I only did this because they didn't ask for a cover board. I only showed any extra parts, like any extra value within the design and the portfolio. So this is the mood board. Notice how I didn't use any like actual model, actual fashion runway images. Seeing this, you kind of already have an idea. Ho'ola meka mo'olelo, healing with history. This ties into specifically Lahaina city in Maui where I live. It burnt down recently and I wanted to talk about the history of it because it was a hard time for everyone. So then this is the short written essay. It's gonna ask you for a short written essay describing like your sportswear design and the year, place, what it means, what it describes, what it's about, all the good jazz. I'll read it to you right now. Ho'ola meka mo'olelo, location Lahaina, Maui. Season, this is going to be during the August and winter time of 2024. My sportswear design is inspired to honor the rich history and enduring spirit of my people from Lahaina. Maui is my home. My mo'ohana are woven into the soil of this sacred aina, a connection that runs as deep as the ocean surrounding our island. August 8, 2023 at 6:38 a.m., Lahaina faced a devastating wildfire. It was another moment in a long history of trials endured by our people. But for us, it wasn't just a natural disaster, because a lot of the world it was, which is fine, you know, everyone got their own shit. I ain't mad about it. It's a celebration of the vibrant history, the unbreakable spirit, and the stories that made Lahaina so unique before the fire. These designs I want to ensure we never forget the legacy of Lahaina even as we move forward. Lahaina holds a vital place in Hawaiian history. It was once one of our first cities, where leaders like King Kamehameha and others settled. It was a hub of storytelling, legends, and monumental moments that shaped who we are today. This land's beauty isn't just in its landscapes, it's in its soul and in the lives and history it has cradled. We carry its memory with us, its resilience, its beauty, and its history, a torch lighting a path for generations to come. I kind of tie that in there. I thought it'd be kind of a sense of humor thing. For the looks of the garment, I mix modern trends that I see today, such as trench coats and maxi skirts, while keeping Hawaiian tradition customs and their vintage style. For that last mini part, I didn't need to add, but I did because I thought it was important to show them, like, not only am I gonna show you the history and like what I feel in my project, I'm also gonna let you know I'm still on top. I'm keeping up with modern trends. I'm keeping up with the history of our kumus out of respect. And I'm doing it all while putting in my own personal touch. This is what I also do to make sure that it sells if we were to sell it. So yeah, show them your marketing skills, girl. So this is the first piece of my sportswear collection. This is the Apo Mo'olelo. I designed a turtleneck long sleeve and a maxi skirt. I wanted the maxi skirt to kind of look like a conch shell because that's kind of how people would hit each other, and they would use conch shells in our history. Turtleneck that covers her mouth because it's supposed to represent how we were kind of shushed. This is my own personal opinion, but if the government had done what they did to fix those freaking wires so when heavy winds blow it wouldn't start a fire, or even just turning off the wires, I heard that was an option. It was started by wires, faulty wires that fell onto the ground. Heavy windstorms, that's why it was called a natural disaster. Heavy windstorms came in, but we knew that the heavy windstorms were coming in, so I don't know why we didn't think, or so to plan or fix it sooner. But anyways, so that was kind of like, but notice how I did a front and a back, and I didn't give her shoes, but that's because we're not known to wear shoes. But I wanted to show that I'm not lazy. I'm not doing shoes because I'm being lazy. I'll give you shoes. So I gave her water shoes. She's walking on water. I just wanted to make that point clear. Feathers I would want to use because I want to make it clear it's imitation, not real. Authentic Tahitian pearls to know what kind of jewelry I would want. I don't want any kind of pearls. I want Tahitian pearls. And if I want that, I'm going to make it and put it in there so that they know. Same thing with the flats. I did front and backs each flat, and then I did these little call outs. Call outs save lives. I didn't know to do this, but I was given this as advice to do call outs. Anything that's like a zipper or like a hidden piece on the garment that people who are gonna look at it, they can't see it, but you know it's there, literally call it out. You bring out a little bubble and you show a smaller detail of what that function does. A little note: opening zipper, making the extra piece on the shirt detachable. Extra piece was made for a style to keep the silhouette of the conch shell. Little calls like that and little side notes, so then when they read it, they're not confused. They know exactly what they're looking at and they understand it. These images got off Amazon. Stretch velvet, crushed velvet. That's because velvet was known as luxury. So if you wore velvet, you were royalty. I wanted my people to be royalty, so they're wearing velvet. This is my second design. I consider this one the showstopper. I always put my showstoppers last because sometimes that's what people do in fashion shows, I believe. I think. This is going off my own perception. Y'all can fact check me. This one's called Alanui. I know this one's big, so I think this one is something big, like big chief. Kind of represent like the chiefs. So she's wearing the same, notice she's wearing the same turtleneck because it's sportswear, so it can mix and match. So I made an outfit that can mix and match. I'm not putting the flat in there. The flat's already in the first one. People who do fashion, they already can communicate that part. So this is just a flat of the trench coat and the pant. The trench coat, I want to be all feather, and I wanted to represent their cloak because back in the day, the chiefs wore these big cloaks that covered their whole bodies. Playing with symmetry, my own personal touch, I made it an asymmetrical trench coat, and then I really wanted there to be a lot of boning and structure in there, and I wanted to have a turtleneck moment popping out like a top collar. Same thing with imitation feathers, specifically mamo. That's what the chiefs use in their time. I made a basic pant. I just added my own personal touch and flair. Feather waistband around it so it falls just at the waist. Love waist. I didn't want it too tailored. I made call outs of just the pant opening, and we all know how pants work and how the zipper function works, but it just shows that if you ask me to make a flat or a call out, I can show you that I can do it and I can make a pattern for it. That's why I added that little call out, because I didn't have a call out for this specific page because I didn't need one, so I gave myself a call out because I wanted to go the extra mile. I added 2 different types of fabric content here: cotton, cambric, and ribbed mink. You don't see the ribbed mink in my design, but I placed it right underneath my fabric, so it tells the people looking at it that would be my underlining fabric. This is my top fabric, that's my underlining for the coat. And then same thing for the red, that's the top, that's the same one we used before, and then the velvet for the pants. You know, little things like that, they pay attention. And notice how for my background, my mood board, all about Hawaiian history, this one was the aftermath, the actual Hawaiian burnt fire and flames just add a little, you know, more emotion to it. But this was an actual photo of the aftermath of the fire. And then when I did my background for my images, I didn't go big. I just went with a simple plain background, and I added a Hawaiian leaf print. I'm so bad with names. A Hawaiian leaf print at the top, and then I did the same design but I added it on the side. But you see how it's all organized and it corresponds and it tells a story together, and you see them telling a story. I love it. I love it. So now we're going into the second project, which is your own fashion sketches. This look is called Apana Manava'o. They focus on how you make your fashion figures. She's a 9-head figure. 9 head, I'm gonna show you what it means right now. 9 head means you take her head and you measure it out 9 times, then she give you a perfect model. They're always gonna ask you to do the 9-head figure. It's just the basic standard. I was told my models were too skinny and I actually had to add some meat on their bones. So I was like, okay, got you. So it doesn't look like it, but I did. This was a past design I did. I was just bored, I think. It was based off the Met Gala. I think it was called the Garden of Time. I wanted to do my own recreation of it. Obviously had to sketch a back. Did the same process with the fabrics. I also did not have flat sketches for these. I had to create them when applying. So I made my flats. I used Adobe for all of my flat sketches. I had access at the time. The reason why I did it in red for these specific parts here was this is the front, so whatever was in red was the back, and that was just to show like what it would look like. I think they got it. I'm only assuming they got what I meant just because I got in, but I don't know if they really got all the details, so I could be speaking out of my ass. Little call outs like an invisible zipper that they probably would assume would be there, but you know, you have to tell them how to get in and out of the garment. They also look at that. Same thing with the bone. They're like, oh, how does this part of the dress stay up? Horsehair. It's a type of thing that you add at the bottom of a dress if you want the hem to stick out. I could even be wrong. That could not even work. But the fact that I'm using my brain to try and figure things out to make it work shows I have the technical skills to be a fashion designer. So that's what they were probably thinking about. I really could be wrong about that part. This one had a lot of things that needed details, so this page is really good if you also design kind of crazy or more on a like technical scale and you need to know like, oh, is this too much? It's not too much if you know how to explain it and defend it. This is look 2 and 3 Stargirl. This one I put look 2 and 3 together because this was a collective piece. I did 3 looks in total for this collection, but I only put 2 in because they were my favorite. Yeah, same concept. Inside of this waistband, it's gonna be a cinch, because if you see the waistband or the skirt right here, it looks like a skirt where you can just tie in the front, right? No, front of the skirt is just a decorative piece. You can't actually untie it. The skirt itself though is going to be expandable with the waistband, so I put hidden elastic. That's a detail note because they would have seen this red string and think, how does she get in and out of the skirt? Same thing with the mini skirt. I don't show a zipper on the side. I tell them in my flat sketch there is an invisible zipper to get in and out of this mini skirt. Ropes, laces, eyelets, all the good jazz that they would need to construct the garment. Same thing, this is look 4, her front and her back. Notice how each page looks different, but they all have the same thing. The placement is just different because it's really different types of designs. So I had to get creative of my placement. I try to make sure that I kept my models in the middle, flat sketches on the right, construction needed details on the left. The call out on this side would be there is a belt that unbuckled from her neck. Look 5, skin of my teeth. These 2 are part of the same collection. This was part of my 6 look collection. Because they were so exaggerated in design, they each needed their own page. I even did a call out for hook and eye to clarify so that they know what to get and what to add. It is, oh, she wants it to be a hook and eye. And the same thing, it's a zipper, gathered puff pocket, because they might not know what this means. So I just wrote a note, that's a gathered puff pocket. Look 6 and 7, I think these are gonna be my last 2. Look 6 and 7, this was actually my first attempt to my portfolio when I was applying again. When I was talking to my advisor, she told me the New York thing was done. I told her my inspiration was New York and she's like, don't do that. Everyone does New York. I don't want to see New York. Don't do New York. And I was like, got you, I won't do New York. But this was called Mo'ohane. Represents something about me and my new upcoming because I was moving to New York. This particular collection was about me moving to New York and living the fashion life I've always dreamed of living, and this is how I expect my wardrobe. I did red and silver because it was like during the winter time. I expected those to be my trending colors. Like I did so much research into it, so that's why I kept it in my portfolio. Yeah, more callouts on how the skirt would work out, invisible zipper. I even did this little thing where I said sew the top with CB SH to SH. Basically, I just told them sew with the top center back. So this is the center back, shoulder to shoulder. So they know where to sew it. It's gonna be in the center back, right in the back, and the center, shoulder to shoulder. But notice how I did flats for every single one, front and backs with callouts. Just do it. I promise you, they will appreciate the talent and the time and the skill that you have. We're on to the sewing project. I use a mannequin and I use my professional camera, and notice how my seams are even straight. You do not have to go this big with the sewing project. You can even sew just a t-shirt, a pair of shorts, or a skirt even. That's what I did for the first application. I did a tube top, a skirt, and a dress. This was, I had more years of experience. I went to fashion school, so that's why it looks better now. But there's still so much things wrong with it. Like, I can't, like, it's so off. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, easy. Front, back, detail in the middle. To me, I see no good side, so I just did a close-up of the stitching of my boning. This one, I was mainly focusing on the top, but I also did sew the skirt, kind of also feature the skirt, because I didn't need to, but I did. So top, front, and back. And I just couldn't zip up all the way because it didn't fit the mannequin. But yeah, the skirt is just pinned because, again, it didn't fit the mannequin. And I just did a close-up detail of my corset top because I was so proud of this corset. If I had the tits, I would wear her every single day. And then I think this is my last one, front and back, except I did a back and front. I think it was just because the back was the showstopper to me because it took me forever. The back and the front and the one in the middle. And I did make the bra from scratch. I wanted to learn, so it wasn't like a struggle or anything. It was actually really fun for me. And I did a close-up of, call it skeleton stitching, manipulation technique that I tried to practice on my own. Still needs a lot of work, but that's fine because I'm going to school. That's what it's all about. That was my portfolio. We are done. Now, what I would say is, for each of these images that I've showed you from 1 all the way to 12, I will tell you, this is what I submitted in my slide room. The slide room provides a side column where you can take or write notes or details or anything. They get to write a short note about what they're seeing. I took advantage of that. So they get more of who you are and like how much thought you actually put into each page. It gives you more time and more things to explain because you can't explain everything that you want to on a single page just because they don't like seeing too much words. They told me that they hate seeing words and paragraphs. They'd rather see small little bulletins like I did. That is it. Let me know what you guys think of the portfolio. If you guys want to see my very first one, I guess just comment it or let me know and I'll think about it. I just have to find it. That's the only thing. I don't know where it is, honestly. I hope this helps you guys get in to talk about my own personal process. And what I've learned from it is if you want to get into a school like this, you can't just love it. You have to know your you have to understand fashion, you have to understand fashion industry and fashion terms. If you don't get in, you do not need to go to school to figure out what you've done wrong. You can honestly just take fashion course classes and a replacement of college to then get, to then apply to FIT. I didn't plan to go to the first college of my choice. I kind of went just because I was always told the college experience was fun and college was a fun time and I should get the experience and I was getting all the support. So I was like, if I'm getting all the support, why would I not take advantage in the best possible meaningful way? And so that's what I did and I do not regret it. I do not regret what I've learned from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. They have taught me a lot. The teachers there, they're good people and I hope they go far further in their fashion careers. I'm going to New York now. Hopefully my next video is gonna be like unboxing for my new dorm. I'm sorry, hello. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope this helped you. If not, comment and I'll fix my mistakes some way. Hopefully. We'll talk about it. We'll figure something out. Bye guys. Happy New Year.